Blake Production.
Squad, what is poppin'? We're going to break down a few stocks today, so let's get into it. We're looking at Shopify here. This is the Canadian version for those that are interested. As you can see, the stock has made the furthest low from the very high, 85% down, right? Right now, we're sitting a little bit higher from that, right? We've made some decent gains off of the bottom, right? So we've come up almost 100% off of the bottom. And from the top, right now, we're sitting at 73%, right? So there's a clear change of characteristics in this stock, right? So when we look at the technical analysis in terms of what we should be looking for, we have a massive accumulation zone in this box area, right? And then we break out of the box area, right? Now leaving this little box area, this huge accumulation zone, what we're looking for to see, and this is the beautiful part, is the change of the trend, which is starting from this low. We have a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and that continues to be created when we're looking at this name, right? So you could zoom out, look at the weekly time frame to get a more, broad perspective at it, right? So when we look at it from this perspective, it's a lot easier to point out from the low, high, higher low, higher high, clear breakout out of this accumulation zone. And what we're looking at right now is the back test of that resistance. So I think it's important to see that in the next little while, we might take some time, right? Just developing this base in here before we continue upward. Something that I do really like about Shopify, they're not going to go away. That's number one. They're a major tech company, major tech. I'm thinking like Amazon type levels, right? Like it'll always be growing in terms of people using their website to sell their products. And I think it's going to get even more and more mainstream as the popularity of like single person businesses starts to take off in the near future. I do think that is something that's going to continue to grow. We have this trend line here that's being held, right? So we want to see that continue to be held. We've had from October 22 a solid 4 or 5 touches here. So the way you adjust it depends. We have 3, 4, 5. You could readjust it this way where we get 4 clean ones. Either way, the trend is in the bull's favor here, despite all of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that the markets have been like pumping out. I do think that's a mechanism that, the Fed or whoever these big guys are, that they're using all this fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and all the bad news to scare away retail investors, right? And it's also used inversely where you'll hear like Jim Cramer talk about, oh, this stock's a great buy. And then, of course, it goes down like all these banks, right? So I think it's important to pay attention to this. Stick to the strong names that aren't going to go away, that have strong technicals. And by strong technicals, we are talking about weekly uptrends, right? So we use the 8 EMA and the 21 EMA, and we go to the weekly time frame, and the bullish cross happened back in the beginning of January. So although that there's all this fear, although there's some volatile swings in the market, right? You'll see it go down 20%. I still do believe these names are the ones that are going to continue to rise throughout the year. Something I want to pay attention to with all this, these banks getting pretty much, there's a bank run going on. With all this shit happening, are we going to see interest rates drop? And if the interest rates drop, that could be a bullish catalyst to see market prices continuing to rise. So let's stay focused, watch the technicals, and just stay even keel here, right? It could go either way, but I do think the beauty about technical analysis is that despite all the jibber jabber, despite all the industry talk, the numbers don't lie, right? So you could always check the chart And I do think that that will give us the most raw perspective of which direction we could potentially go in. Shopify's looking great right now. We're set at $57 Canadian, and it's just, I love this stock right now. So it's something that I'll always keep on my watch list. I think a few more weeks in this zone could create a massive buy opportunity for option calls. And we'll stay posted with this on a weekly to bi-weekly basis. Peace, guys.